Hello, my Aries risings. You will have Uranus be transiting through your third house. But before we look at what changes you can expect with that energy moving through that house, let's take a walk down memory lane with how the previous 7 years have been for you when Uranus was moving through your second house. I'm a curious little critter. I love learning from others that have actually experienced the transit. Tell me, has your income been moving up and down, fluctuating since 2019? With Uranus moving through your second house of values, you may have found yourself in a job where money was not steady. Maybe sales where you earn commissions. So some weeks it was awesome. You could go into a store and not look at the price tags and buy anything you wanted. And some weeks you had to stretch $2 until you got paid again. You may have owned your own business during this time where your income was based on how much product you sold. Or you could have had money invested in the stock market, which was volatile and up and down, up and down. When Uranus transits the second house, you can go from rags to riches and riches to rags. Your beliefs may have fluctuated as well. What do you believe in? What is your truth? What are your values? Uranus was asking you to come up with your own independent answers and not directly follow what your family instilled into you. But now, beautiful, glorious, authentic Uranus will be moving through your third house of communication. If you do have any fears about communicating with others right now, Uranus is going to come in and force you to face those fears in order to help liberate you. So there may be some insecurities around maybe your confidence to speak to others about what you believe in or in depth about a topic. You do have a desire to share your ideas, but there's just some type of speed bump in the way that prevents this. During the previous 7 years, you may have realized that beliefs that your family held were not your authentic truths. And now during this transit, you are going to learn more about these truths and values. And by the end of the transit, you will be able to speak authentically about these topics. Uranus allows you the opportunity to let go of any fears that you have so that you can align with your soul's mission. You are going to have chances to really learn and understand yourself. Uranus in Gemini is all about stimulating the mind, and it's going into its natural house where it feels most at home. You are going to notice that you begin to see things in a new way that can actually lead you to having some unique perspectives about trending topics. You may be in your mind a lot analyzing during this time, but it's going to bring about some original points of view, some out-of-the-box thinking that no one else thinks about, some innovative, creative solutions to the world problems that we have today, some unconventional wisdom, and a highly adaptable mind. Your intellectual level is going to rapidly increase the next 7 years. You will find yourself sampling all kinds of progressive topics to study. Gemini energy likes to try one of everything. It wants to experience it all. So expect to be pulled into multiple directions when it comes to learning about new topics. Your curiosity is going to be at an all-time high. You may find yourself learning more about AI and then switching over to astrology. And just when you're learning about that, you move towards learning cutting edge technology and then stopping and wanting to learn about psychology and then maybe moving on to politics. And before you spend too much time there, you realize that you want to learn how to build a website and create an app that solves an issue. And the list goes on and on and on. You will be creative. You are at a buffet of learning and you do not want a plate of the familiar. You want to learn things that are new, innovative, and peculiar. This can also cause people that know you to be shocked at some things that you speak about in conversations, or they could be totally caught off guard that you suddenly changed your viewpoint on a stance that you long held about something. Gemini brings about a knowledge about what is real and what is performed. So you will get a clear picture about your truths and what truths you imitate. Conversations will be your best friend during this transit. You will meet some very interesting original characters that leave a lasting impact on you. Some people will inspire you, but you will find you inspire some people as well. Now, my little rams, sometimes you can only see things through your eyes. Sometimes that Aries energy has a hard time putting themselves in other people's shoes, but Uranus and Gemini is going to revolutionize your thought process. You will have a liberation of the mind where you are able to see dual perspectives of the same topic. You also may find conversations with others or speeches that you hear or videos that you see online create some type of unexpected inspiration from you. And it's definitely a time where psychic abilities can awaken. You may find yourself getting messages from the divine in your mind and being able to translate these messages and communicate them to the world, which could lead you to beginning a podcast or a channel on social media. You need an outlet to allow all of your creative thoughts to flow. By the end of this transit in 2033, you may find that you're more vocal on social platforms and have more of an online presence because people are going to appreciate your authentic voice. Expect the unexpected during this transit. Some random opportunities may come about where you get to learn about something completely different than you ever expected, or maybe a random opportunity where you get to share your unconventional wisdom. Who knows? Maybe you're just out shopping and some YouTuber is doing street interviews and asks you the most random question, and you answer it in this innovative, out-of-the-box, original way, and you literally blow people's minds, and then you go viral. Now, conversations will change you, but also you may find yourself in some conversations that loop, and this can cause you to become incredibly impatient and break free because you don't handle boredom very well anyways, but during this time you will want to be intellectually stimulated. If someone tries to force their opinion on you, expect a reaction that may leave others with their jaws dropped. Aries are direct, so I could definitely see something where you say something that leaves other people speechless if you feel trapped. Uranus does not want to be restricted or controlled in any type of way. She's weird, quirky, and totally original, and totally okay with that. If you try to box her in or tell her what to do, she will rebel. And that will be you if anyone tries to control what you think or push their beliefs on you. During this time, I will say you may need some quiet time to process everything that you're learning because, again, Gemini energy just likes to jump ideas all over the place. But also, beware, because your mind can be your own worst enemy. You could find at times you experience some mental restlessness or maybe an informational overload. Taking a step back and processing will be much needed in order to organize your thoughts. You will have this desire to learn as much as you can and talk to people who are knowledgeable during this transit. Your brain is like a sponge absorbing all kinds of new information. You may even find yourself entering into conversations with people that have traditional viewpoints on things, and you come into this conversation like a wrecking ball and dismantle their beliefs and viewpoints with your progressive truths. Over the next 7 years, your mind will adapt to thinking quicker. Think of your brain as a computer that only improves in efficiency over time. By the end of this transit, you will be presented with a topic and quickly have your viewpoints ready to go, and your reaction time is going to greatly improve during the next 7 years. This can be a good thing or a bad thing. If you are passionate about a topic and someone is not presenting accurate, authentic truths about it, you can get stirred up quite easily when this happens. But one magnificent thing about this transit is if you have a critical mind and you are hard on yourself, you can harness this energy and liberate your mind from the criticism. Uranus is adaptable and flexible and accepting. Give yourself some grace during these next 7 years. It's a learning experience that is full of trial and errors. There is a learning curve with all of this. You are not going to be a pro day one. You also may find you are suddenly invited on trips where you meet unexpected people, or you suddenly even have to change vehicles at some point during this transit. It could be for mechanical reasons, or on a whim, you decided that you want to drive something totally opposite than what you're driving now. Uranus doesn't have rules, so anything goes. She's unrestricted. If you have siblings, expect some fiery conversations. The sparks can fly. They may have different perspectives on topics, or you may feel they are detached, or you have to detach from them during certain times during this transit. You are going to be a visionary that has some unique, quirky thoughts that may rattle some others' feathers. There could be this tension introduced in your family where your communication with certain members actually does need to take a break from some moments because it gets too amped up. The key, my little Aries, is to drop all of the masks around being bold and channel your quick, adaptable, brilliant thinking into something meaningful that can serve humanity. Mwah. Hello, my gorgeous Taurus risings. Who's ready to celebrate that Uranus is finally leaving your first house? This was an intense time because you are fixed and you like your stability, and you have this pesky little planet coming through like a bowling ball and knocking you down, creating all of this instability in your life. But nonetheless, you have changed, and you are not the same little Taurus rising today as you were in 2019. And I suspect the same will be true in 2033 when this transit finishes. Now, I would be lying if I told you this was going to be an easy transit, because now you have this abrupt, chaotic planet coming into your house of material goods where you like safety and security and balance. And you like to be able to buy nice things on a whim and not have to worry about it. You don't want to be thinking, do I have enough money for this or not? And here comes Uranus changing every bit of that. You are going to be forced to let go of your attachment to the material and any traditional values that you may hold that are not authentic to your truth or your soul's mission. You will be radically changed, but in a good way, okay, by the end of this transit. Uranus liberates you, but she does this by taking you out of your comfort zone. And Tauruses are bulls that are stubborn and they don't want to move. But I promise, Taurus, you are moving to greener pastures. You just have to put up with some BS along the way. The first thing that's going to change is your relationship with money. You are going to learn how to adapt and be flexible with inconsistent, unsteady income. But this will actually make you more resourceful in a way. If you are in a job that provides steady income, you may find yourself actually being limited. And Uranus doesn't like restrictions or limits at all. She wants to break free. So when this happens, she rebels. You may experience sudden job loss, or AI may abruptly take over your job, and so you are forced to strike out on your own and create your own business or your own brand. And if you do own your own business, your income could be based on sales, and they just fluctuate all of the time. You never know what's going to happen. Because you do have to become resourceful, you may find that you have more than one source of income during this time. You will need freedom over your career. You will feel suffocated if you work a 9-to-5 and you get 2 days off the rest of your life. You need options. You need a career that gives you this freedom to move around and do what you want to do on your own terms. You may work for someone, let's say in sales, so you travel, but again, it's commission-based and you're only giving a percentage of what you sell. You could diversify your investments, buy some stocks, but they fluctuate over the next 7 years. Nothing in your financial area of life will be certain. You may take on unexpected debts or receive some income that you never saw coming. When I had this transit go through my life, my aunt randomly texted me that I had unclaimed money with the state and I got to claim it. You may gamble and unexpectedly win with this transit. You will have an urge to take an unexpected risk. You may do gambling online. Uranus is all about technology, or invest in stocks online or through an app. You may learn about unconventional ways to make money from conversations that you actually have with others. You may also find your money is up, so you can go to a store and throw anything in your cart and never have to look at the price tag, and it doesn't matter how much you spend. And then there are times where you are down and you have to make your $2 stretch 2 weeks. You will have this story of rags to riches, but also the story of riches to rags with this Gemini energy. You'll have to really learn that your material items do not define who you are. You came into this world with nothing, and you will leave this world with nothing. Those material items are meaningless. You can find yourself taking the road less traveled during this time. So many people hate their job, but not everyone quits to follow their path that they were meant to take. And because you do like security and stability, you may actually shock people that you randomly do this. Now, the second house deals with values, not just values as in material values, but also what are your beliefs. Expect a total renovation in your belief system. You will begin to question things your family taught you and that you blindly followed throughout the years. Things about religion and beliefs and tolerance. You may gain some progressive viewpoints that actually come into conflict with your family. You can start to have some unconventional wisdom about things that go against the traditions that you were taught. Self-love is also going to be something that comes into great focus. If you do start your own business, you are going to realize your value, my little Tauruses, and what you charge for your services or product or time. What is that value going to be? You will also begin to question what your value to society will be and how you can contribute. You may get hit with some sudden inspiration and can even come up with some unique inventions to solve problems that are going on in the world. And then you can market these creative solutions online. You will probably notice your online presence grow. because Uranus doesn't like restriction. So you may feel the urge to sell things online where you can gain a worldwide audience. It's not restricted to a small local town or your country. The amazing thing about you is you are in the things for the long haul, and you are slow and steady. So you will slowly and steadily grow your business and expand it to an international reach if you harness this energy. You also may begin to find yourself studying topics like astrology, psychology, space, technology, AI, spirituality, and these things can seem unconventional to the things that you were brought up learning. And you may actually have some fears with breaking away from these long-held beliefs and sharing your new value system with others. But Uranus will help put you into some situations where you are forced to share your distinctive perspective, even if it goes against others. Over time, you will get more confident about being authentic to what you truly believe in and how you want to present yourself to the world. I absolutely cannot wait to see how things unfold for you, my little Taurus risings. Mwah. Hello, my little Cancer risings. The next 7 years are going to radically transform you. You will not be the same little crab you are today that you will be in 2033. But that's a good thing, I promise. I mean, just look at how much you have adapted and changed since 2019 when Uranus was moving through your 11th house. During that time, you were able to find out who your real friends were and found yourself able to show up more authentically as yourself in social groups. You're already used to having a steady friend group and may find that you've actually had the same friends over the years. But during this time, you may have noticed some ups and downs, some rumors, gossip within your closest dynamics. But through it all, you prevailed. And now you're noticing, or will be noticing, some deep psychological wounds within yourself, as well as those you surround yourself with. By the end of this transit, everything you thought you knew about yourself will be deconstructed. With your Gemini being in your 12th house, you may already have a surface level relationship to your subconscious. You realize something's there spiritually, and you realize there is a reason why people act the way that they do. And you realize there is some type of greater meaning to life. But now is your opportunity to learn all of those things at a much greater depth. Why do you attract the people you do in life? What are your spiritual gifts and how can you use them? What are the subconscious patterns that you need to undo so that you can be free? If you harness the energy correctly during the next 7 years, you will be able to discover all of these answers and more. The greatest discoveries lie beyond the veil of what everyone else can see. And Uranus is going to be coming through this house and exposing the other side to you. She will do this unabashedly and abruptly. You will trigger others and others will trigger you. Your personal relationships and your relationships with coworkers, bosses, even some pets are going to be all over the place. It will seem chaotic, and sometimes you may even feel like you're a little bit crazy. In fact, you may even question yourself at times during the next 7 years. Am I the crazy one, or are they the crazy one? Like, which one is it? It will be important for you to be gentle with yourself, my little Krabby Patties. This energy can exhaust you. If you do get tired and need rest, honor it. If you get messages and dreams, believe it. Also, if you need alone time to break away from everyone else, give yourself some space. A lot will be going through your mind, and you will be trying to analyze things from multiple angles. So peace and quiet is something desperately needed during this time to process everything fully. Your mind is going to be like AI, trying to process answers, but also having 999 tabs open. If you're around others, you can have an informational overload. So isolate. Take all the time you need to process things so you can integrate what you learn along the way. Early subconscious patterns are going to be abruptly exposed. You will be forced to face your shadow in order to liberate yourself from all of this restraint. Your soul knows what kind of life you were meant to lead, but your mind and body are blocking it somehow. You will be put in situations with others where you want to speak up for yourself, where you want to cut energy cords and drop the people that no longer serve you or the people who are toxic to you. But you have, my little Cancer risings, a soft spot in your heart, especially if these toxic people are your family, your romantic partner, your children, or even your friends you consider family. You are the only stability that some people know without a Taurus being in the 11th house. It's like you constantly have to be the strong one. You almost feel guilt or shame in a way if you don't help those that are closest to you. But I want you to pay very, very close attention that if any messages you get seem like they are divine, to listen to them because they can come through at this time. Some of you already may have your third eye open. Some of you may not. But now is a wonderful time to open it. I remember when I very first opened my third eye, I was actually scared because I heard others say that you may see things. So I thought I was going to see scary ghosts or something that could harm me. But what I discovered is it awakens you to divine wisdom you cannot get in this realm. You have to go beyond the veil to gain understanding. And this will seem unconventional to the more traditional people in your life. Over time, and this transit is 7 years, so you don't have to be perfect day one. But over time, you will notice clues all around you, messages in plain sight. When I very first opened my third eye, I would see things, I would doubt them. So I had to learn to trust myself, that my intuition was leading me correctly. You already have a Cancer rising, which comes with inner intuition. That's why you feel so strongly connected to your children and your mother in most cases. Trust any random thought you get. You'll know it comes from spirit by two different ways. One is there is no hesitation. It will be the first thought you get when you get into a situation or you think about a certain dynamic. If you immediately think this is no good for me, then believe it. Everything after that comes into your mind is the mind talking you out of believing your intuition. The second way you know it's wisdom from the divine is whatever message comes through, it will be so perfect that it will fit together like a puzzle piece with all kinds of different things that are going on in your life. I've gotten one single message that had multiple overlaps going on of things that were going on in my life, and it was the exact answer I needed. Your mind will absolutely be blown when you start experiencing this. Uranus will come through and abruptly awaken your psychic abilities. With Uranus being in Gemini, you may find a lot of your answers come through conversations with other people. You may strike up a random conversation with a stranger and they will tell you something that overlaps with your own life. You may talk with friends and they have the exact same thing going on, but it's just different characters that are playing out in their life. You may even listen to a podcast or watch videos or a TV show or movie or a whole episode of something where the thing that is going on in the scene is something that you are experiencing. It's absolutely wild. Now, we'll say sometimes friends, and I mean any friends, especially those that have Scorpio or Pisces in their chart, they will call you out on your patterns. A Scorpio friend is going to be able to see psychologically why things are playing out the way that they are in your life, and your Pisces friend is going to intuitively know. So these can be really great friends to have so that they can help you with that energy. And they may tell you things that are painful to hear, but believe me, they are the truth. I know 2 people that have gone through this transit. It was a different sign, of course, but one thing I noticed is one friend listened to the advice and adapted and grew, and one friend denied, deflected, and blamed. And now they are both heading into Uranus moving through their first house. One grew and became more authentic, and Uranus is going to be hitting her ascendant, and she's going to be better prepared. I mean, that's just facts. The other one is going to be jolted by this transit because Uranus transforms you, just like Pluto, but Uranus electrically transforms you. You know, that's why there's transformers that deal with electricity. During the next 7 years, you are going to become aware of where you are really being yourself in situations and where you are merely performing to what other people need you to be. It will be a revolutionary time to feel what surfaces for you, even if it's painful. Fully expect to cry. Expect to receive some disappointments. Expect some psychology upheavals. But also fully expect your life to change in a way where you attract different energy into your life. In some areas of your life, you've been performing so long that you truly believe it is your core identity. But Uranus is not going to allow you to believe these falsehoods anymore. She wants you to embrace your weirdness and quirkiness, your unique, original, authentic little self, whatever that may be. Some of you may even want to shift careers after this transit because you are going to understand yourself and others, for that matter, at a profound level. You will understand that someone attacking you it's not personal. Hurt people. It's their pain manifesting in the physical because they were so deeply wounded, most of the time as a child. You may find yourself studying more on astrology, psychology, or using technology or AI to dismantle some of your thought patterns. Uranus wants you to get a very clear picture of what your dream life would look like. You could very well start vision boards at this time or journal what you want that life to be. What type of partner do you want? Who would support you the best? What are the main things you want from a partner? What does your career look like? What does your ideal home and family life look like? It will be a time where Uranus demands trust and doesn't allow you to make excuses anymore. This transit is going to require some radical honesty. And again, I cannot stress this enough. You will experience some deep pains. I want you to remember that your mind can also be your own worst enemy. There will be days where you don't want to face tomorrow, or you feel so overwhelmed with the amount of things that need to change. You wonder, how in the world is this even going to be possible? You're going to face the darkness head on. Things that you have buried, things that you have hidden between lots and lots and lots of layers. May discover some dark truths about your own toxicity. You'll be exposed to your own pollution. But Uranus is here to help you clean all of it up. And just remember, whenever you're going through these dark times, others have faced this transit and made it through. Our little Taurus risings are seeing the dawn of the new day this year. And our little Leo risings will be facing the same exact darkness that you will be coming out of in 2033. So it's totally doable. Uranus really just wants you to find your freedom, to be who you authentically are. She wants you to stop faking it because it takes too much of your energy. You will feel a lot lighter by the end of this transit because you purged and cleared and purified your dark energy for light. You came here with a special gift that will impact humanity greatly. But you need to become your real, authentic, genuine, distinctive self and quit hiding behind the mask. If you do find it to be too much, reach out to a trusted friend you learned about during this last transit. Talking to people will greatly help you. This is a Gemini transit. It's all about talking and communicating with others. You may begin therapy or start really talking about your truths in therapy and dismantling your beliefs and the patterns. You may start a video diary or even a social media channel to speak about your truths. Connection will be incredibly important during this time. You will see an upgrade in your connections, both physical and divine, as you make changes. And expect some unique characters to randomly come in your life and share some progressive, innovative wisdom that leaves a lasting impact on you. Remember, this is going to be like surgery on your subconscious mind because you are healing this part of you. You are healing open wounds, even if they are energetic. Be gentle. And if you need to reach out to an energy healer, this would be a fantastic time. You could get Reiki done or have a past life hypnosis done to see why you have the patterns that you do. You may consult astrologers who can help you read your chart and help you see what issues you have in your closest relationships. You may use sound healing or learn how to sage your surroundings. You may begin to want to work with a shamanic healer or go to some spiritual retreat. You want to get into your mind and figure out why you are the way that you are and why you attract certain situations into your life. And sometimes when you're in the actual storm, you can't see what's going on. So getting an outsider's perspective can be helpful. This would also be a fabulous time to trust your own psychic abilities. So you might find yourself picking cards or watching card readers and learning the craft. Be prepared to hear some bold messages coming through because Uranus isn't exactly meek. You also may find some unstable people coming into your life. It's a time where people can come out of the darkness. So you will experience some people maybe with mental health issues that project on you. You learn how to untangle this mess and know what energy is yours and what energy is theirs. If you trust yourself fully, you can become a healer. You have the intuition to definitely be one. And if you already are one, your insights will grow rapidly with this transit. Uranus can bring drama while moving through your 12th house. She wants you to sort through this sticky, icky mess. If you have any fears about speaking up for yourself at work or in your closest one-on-one dynamics, Uranus is here to help you. With it being in Gemini, you may have felt weird or strange consulting information from the other side. People could have shamed you, like you were doing something wrong, or you may find out that in some of your dynamics, it's only one-sided. You talk about their problems and analyze their issues, leaving no room for you. You may have been silenced when you tried to speak up for yourself. You could find that others flip the script or use things against you that you try to share. Let's say you bring up a genuine concern to your partner. Your partner then makes it about themselves and what you do to them, so nothing gets solved. You could find that if you spoke up for yourself, you got interrupted or overlooked or dismissed. Any of these things could have occurred, and over time, it just made you shut down. Like, what's the use of trying to speak up if no one is going to listen to you anyways? Well, now is the time your subconscious will be screaming, and you need to let it be heard and listen to it. It will tell you everything you need to know and help guide you to resolution. You also may notice very inconsistent people show up in your life at this time, or you may find that you become inconsistent and don't feel bad or shame yourself for this. You have to isolate in some instances to process all of this internal energy that is going on. You are quite literally going to battle in an inner war within yourself. So people could see you as inconsistent. You may also find it's a good time to nurture your inner child because she's been hidden or suppressed. You know, maybe you've been looking at others outside of you to nurture you. But during this transit, you learn to do what you want to do. If there was anything you wanted to do as a kid and didn't get to do it, go do it. I personally loved visiting NASA when I was a kid and eating that space ice cream. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? And even though money was tight, I took a trip and did it anyways, and it nurtured my soul. If you love animals, go to the zoo or go to the animal shelter or a cat cafe. If you were a water baby, go to the beach. This will be personal for each person, but go do what you love to do to nurture that inner child. Become curious. Go to the library and look up topics. Have you ever wanted to get in an airplane? Go take a flight. If you ever wanted to go visit a psychic, go to one and have fun. It doesn't always have to be serious. You'll be amazed at what acting like a little child again can do for your soul. I even went to an aquarium as well. And actually, as a bonus, I got to see a mermaid show, which excited my inner little girl so much. And the extra bonus is I was away from where I lived. So I felt safe to be goofy and weird. And I gave myself permission to be giddy and amazed. I mean, after all, these people were never going to see me again or remember me. They had no idea who I was. And if money is tight, see about getting a group of friends together and just having an old-fashioned slumber party. Get some face mask and nail polish from the Dollar Tree. You don't have to spend an arm and a leg nurturing your inner child. You'd also be surprised at how many free things are available in your community. I found all kinds of free, completely free things that you could do. I was like Matilda when I was a little girl. And so one day I just went to the library and explored. I didn't set a time limit that I had to be out there. And while I was in the library, I found all kinds of events that went on in the community. Or go outside and look at the stars. Find the Cancer constellation. She kind of looks like a Y. You can see her well where I live right now. Find the constellation where your sun is and where your moon is. Just have fun. If you have any other ideas about how to nurture your inner child, share it in the comments so other Cancer risings can get some ideas. We all need to support one another during this time because it can be so erratic. With your rising sign being in water can also nurture you at this time. Plus, the 12th house is traditionally ruled by Pisces, which is represented by two little fishies, and you're already a little crab. So take baths, bubble baths, baths with rose petals or Epsom salt. Take sound baths, visit the ocean, swim in it, float in it, buy yourself a blow-up pool. Find a place to swim, visit creeks, go kayaking, take a cruise, get in a hot tub, visit the aquarium. Water helps detox and cleanse you physically and energetically. Stay hydrated during this transit as well. You may experience more headaches and tension in your head while Uranus goes through Gemini. And I actually just got to thinking, if it's possible, create a little sanctuary where you live that can be your private area to retreat to when life seems chaotic. I couldn't do this when it was going through my house, but personalizing a safe space in your living arrangement would be extremely beneficial during this transit. Uranus is going to electrically amp up your awareness to cycles that are occurring in your life. And if you are stuck in your energy field and you are looping, you will be made aware of this suddenly. Take some deep breaths. Find a spot to meditate. You can even do some guided meditations where you cut energy cords that are attached to you. There's actually all kinds of free guided meditations on YouTube. Uranus is going to strike you at your core unannounced, but it's doing so that you can discover the balance within and not have your energy dispersed and unequal giving. Because sometimes that can be a thing for my Cancer risings. If you are pouring too much of your energy out to others to help them heal and not spending enough time nurturing and loving yourself, Uranus is here to say, no, 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 my little crabby. You must put on your own oxygen mask first and take care of yourself first and love yourself first before helping anyone else. And remember, Pisces, which is the sign who rules over the 12th house, Pisces is the last sign of the zodiac. It's a sign of closure as the zodiac wheel opens up to Aries with new beginnings. So realize certain patterns, situations, and people will be leaving your life during this time. This is not a bad thing. It's just the reality that you cannot help every single person. And these people no longer resonate with the new energy you have become. I cannot wait to see the person you become in 2033. Who knows? I may even see some of you on YouTube sharing your divine messages. Mwah. Well, hello, my gorgeous divine Leo risings. And I'm not just saying that. You are really beautiful. There is just an energy about you that cannot be matched. I don't care what anyone says. Uranus and Gemini will be moving through your 11th house. But before we deep dive into what that looks like for you, let's take a stroll down memory lane and discover what the last 7 years have looked like for you, my little lions. And well, you know, Uranus was transiting your 10th house, and this actually may have been a tough transit for your ego. My little Leos like to keep a steady image to the public and make it look like you have everything together. And so Uranus came through this house and may have exposed to the public areas in your life where you didn't exactly have your life together, or it could have tarnished the well-crafted image that you try to keep. And this could have manifested in two different ways. Either you were put in the spotlight for a negative reason, or you were put in the spotlight for a positive reason, but then you found you couldn't live up to that image. So some examples of what I'm talking about would be something like you were arrested and you had that mugshot plastered everywhere. Or maybe even you made the news. Justin Timberlake is a Leo rising, and his DUI arrest was no accident during this transit. I've even seen where one person tried to to pass the bar exam, but ultimately had to admit defeat to her family, who, of course, had already bragged to everyone that they knew that their daughter was going to school to become a lawyer. Another person I knew was made the director of an organization in the local community, and it made the local news when she accepted the position. And the news did a whole story on her and went over things that she had done in the past for her community. But she really wasn't ready for that level of responsibility that came with that position. And I actually knew someone that succeeded at what she had set out to do and then didn't get any recognition afterwards. Things are inconsistent with Uranus and definitely unexpected. So this person quite literally expected to have someone appreciate and recognize what she did, but she was left with crickets. It could have also been where you were trying to protect your reputation, but others exposed how you were not living up to what you were saying. Kyle Richards has a Leo rising, and on the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, you know, she does try to keep a certain reputation about her, but on one of the seasons during this transit, she actually was texting one of her friend's husbands. Now, she tried to act like everything was innocent. They had only communicated memes back and forth. But then later on, she revealed text where she said that she would never say anything that they talked about. So it caused a lot of controversy. You could have also seen some changes at work during this time, maybe a promotion or possibly an abrupt job change. You could have physically changed in some way during the last 7 years. Could have changed your hair, moved, lost weight, gained weight, got pregnant, got tattoos. Adam Levine has a Leo rising, and just look at how much his looks, his outer image changed during and after the cheating scandal with his wife. I mean, this transit can change a lot of things on the outside. And now you're heading with Uranus moving into your 11th house. And this one isn't going to be too bad. By the end of Uranus moving through this house, you will have a clear picture of who your friends are, which ones are fake and which ones are real, who you can trust. If you do have a lot of friends right now, prepare to shrink down the size to just some really close, authentic friends. You may have a lot of acquaintances that think they're your friends. You just can't help you're the best and people magnetize to you, okay? But you're going to have just this close-knit circle. People always say you have great hair, but you know, I think it's your smile. It's contagious and it automatically puts you in a good mood when you see a Leo rising smiling. So I can see why you magnetize people. Uranus is going to come in like a wrecking ball and create a little chaos in your 11th house, but it's only so you can clear what has fallen and keep what stands true. This energy can be a little abrupt and unstable at times, but at the same time, Uranus brings freedom so that you can be your authentic self in your friends group. You are not going to be the same little lion that you are today as you will be in 2033. Just like you are not the same as you were in 2019 when Uranus was going through Taurus. A lot has changed and transformed, but you have a clearer picture of who you are. And you actually have something a little unique going on during this transit. So it's in your 11th house, which is opposite your natural 5th house, which is the home of Leo, of creativity, fun and passion and love. And what I expect to see for you, my little Leos, is for you to gain some clarity about how you want to use your originality and your creativity to help humanity. You have such a great energy. That's why people naturally attract to you. How can you use this charming, charismatic energy to serve others? Uranus probably taught you some lessons about humbleness the previous 7 years. So it's very possible you even experienced some type of financial loss, which humbled you in a way. Now you're going to have some amazing energy coming through that 11th house where you can now serve humanity and become humble. You are naturally creative, my little lions, whether you realize it or not. Some Leos I know don't even realize how creative they are. You have some type of gift. Some of you can sing, paint, write creative stories. Some of you can tell stories that keep you on the edge of your seat. Some of you are inventors, or you can come up with these most creative solutions to solve problems. I mean, there are unlimited ways you can be creative in this world. Some of you may even create the most gorgeous children. I can go on and on and on. But whatever your creative passion is, how can you use this ability to help and serve others in the world? Now, Uranus is a very technological planet. It's very forward thinking and it loves advancement. I don't care if you are a painter. Is there a way you can share your talent online on some type of social media platform? Because I'm telling you, there are other signs that are going to be going through it during this transit. And you would be surprised at how some calming music and watching someone paint can heal and bring peace to your chaotic world. Or maybe you sing and you can write some original songs that can penetrate someone's heart that is experiencing loss. Share those songs with the world. The easiest way to share your gift these days is via the internet. It is a place where we are connected globally. Maybe you cook or bake in these creative ways. I watch those videos all of the time. It can even be videos of you just living your day-to-day life. You are quite natural in the spotlight when you rid yourself of anxieties, my little lions. You can help be a distraction to those who just need a break from their crazy life. Of course, you can also serve your community by helping the local animal shelter or volunteering at a food bank. You can do a lot of different things. But how can you put your own unique spin on something to serve the collective? You are different. You know you are different and unique and original. You probably have actually known this for a very long time, that you're just not like everyone else. That's why eyes naturally gravitate towards you, whether you're an extrovert Leo rising or an introverted one. And yes, introverted Leo risings exist. They don't like the spotlight. They like their privacy, but still the spotlight finds them. Uranus is going to bring quirky characters into your life that share some unconventional wisdom with you and inspire you. And sometime during this transit, you will actually find that your own unique energy helps inspire others. This transit is about giving back in your own unique, distinctive, radical way. Expect some sudden inspiration that just hits you out of nowhere, and expect someone to come in and be shocked that you aren't using some creative gift that you have. They may plant some seeds that later grow. Expect to feel some electrifying energy when pursuing your passions. But whatever you do, be real with yourself. This transit requires radical honesty. Don't go online for what videos are most popular and then start trying to copy. It's just not going to work, okay? You'll end up spending a lot of your energy being someone you're not, and it's exhausting. So let's say you like watching tarot card readings, okay? And you see that reading these tarot cards is popular, but you don't actually know how to read them. Leos sometimes have issues where they get in the spotlight a little before they're ready. So they may try to, let's say, come up with a message for the collective first, and then start looking up the cards to see which cards match the message, and then try to pretend that they're drawing these cards to deliver the message. I mean, don't you see how much time and energy that takes, my little Leos, rather than just having someone intuitively know what the cards mean and drawing them live and explaining the messages? Whatever you want to show to the world, don't pretend. Don't be fake and don't wear a mask. Don't pretend to be an expert in a field that you're not an expert in. There are certain influencers, which I will not name, that pretend to be something that they're not. So maybe they pretend to be alphas, but behind closed doors, they tell the women that they date that they're actually pretending and don't mean any of it. Don't be like that. Whatever your gift is, make sure it's natural. And it's okay to not know what your gift is at the present moment, because this transit will actually help you learn what it is through other people. Since this transit is moving through Gemini, conversations with others will actually help you learn about yourself. You may see someone showing off what they do and be inspired, but always do things on your own in your own unique twist. Don't copy. You may find yourself trying new and unconventional things that you actually never anticipated on learning. Maybe astrology or psychology or technology, space, AI, you name it. Whatever you want to learn, you're going to be a curious little critter during this time. But again, put your unique twist on the information that you learn and then share it with the world. Uranus is going to come in like a bowling ball and you're the pin, and it's just going to have these sudden breakthroughs. So you may have some situations with your friends that actually need a unique perspective or innovative solution to solve, and you could share that with them. Your mind will be on overdrive thinking of all of the ways that you can get your messages out to the world the next 7 years. And if you don't know your true beliefs, take some time back. Take some time to reflect. Find some quiet time where you can really think about it and narrow down what your truths are, what you'll want to learn. This transit will make you a little impatient and ready to set the world on fire with your voice. You may be taken aback when your messages don't actually gain any traction or don't immediately go viral. You may feel a little overlooked or rejected, and it may have some of you licking your wounds. But things take time to grow. Your 10th house is in Taurus, and it requires a certain amount of patience. And Uranus and Gemini are both very fast energies, and they want results now. So you may feel some frustration and aggravation at the speed that things are developing. You may also find that your mind is so erratic and chaotic that you're coming up with 1,000,001 ideas about things that you can do. So you start a bunch of projects, but you don't actually stick with them. So it definitely will be important to find some type of grounding ritual during the next 7 years. And if you have any fears about speaking up and using your own voice, now will be the time that the chains are broken and you are liberated from that fear. Leos can sometimes care about their image and want this perfectly crafted image that they just have everything together and that nothing phases them and you cannot affect them. So there are times where they remain silent and they don't want to speak to expose a weakness that they may have, or they don't want to be rejected for an opinion that they may have. And you could see this in your friend circle coming out. So Gemini energy can bring gossip and rumors and, quite frankly, drama within your friend groups. Friends will want you to choose sides. You might find yourself learning all kinds of different things and making all these different kinds of friends, and then people starting rumors or gossiping about you because they're upset you're not hanging out with them. And you can be unfazed by this and deny this part of you, and Uranus is going to surprise you. You are going to find yourself in some sudden situations where you may react quickly and say something, And you may even find you abruptly say something that actually shocks everyone around you. So just be prepared for this. This may happen. You may even find yourself in a situation where you feel so restricted by other people or your friend group and you just can't stand it anymore. And so you do speak a piece of your mind, or you rebel, or you break free from this friend group and you'll have to come back at a different time. Uranus doesn't like to be contained. She values her freedom so much. So the moment you try to define her and put her in the box is the moment that she quite literally breaks everything and rebels. With this energy present, you may find you rebel against certain friend groups that just no longer align with who you are or who you want to become. You may take these sudden breaks or even appear aloof to some friends during this transit. That will be very natural. Don't think anything of it. You will be finding your distinctive voice among the groups. If you have been silenced in some way, you can be learning to gain some confidence. So let's say people interrupt you when you try to speak your amazing thoughts, but you've always acted like it doesn't bother you, or you engage in conversations that are one-sided because the other person just simply doesn't care what your opinion is. Uranus is going to liberate you from these dynamics. You will learn how to speak your truth no matter what friction it causes. And it's possible to experience some type of betrayal that hits you deep, my little Leos. Someone close to you in your friend group may do something where you just have to cut contact abruptly with no warning. You could find that you have to ghost certain people. You may find that you thought people were sincere, but they actually turned out fake, and you don't want to spend your energy on those type of people anymore. It's not worth it. You also can attract some weird and quirky friends that just are unconventionally different, and they are not like your typical friends that you normally make. And you may attract some unstable and unreliable people at this time. So people may enter and leave your life suddenly or dramatically. One minute you may be the popular one in the group, and the next time people think that you're the problem and reject you. You can become also quite controversial at times. It's going to be a wild ride. You just don't want to be limited at this time. People can try to use manipulation as a way to make you feel guilty or shame you for trying to change. Maybe someone judges you, like, why would you want to hang out with that person and not us? Or tell you to cancel your plans with the other people so that you can hang out with them instead of the other person. That's where the rumors are going to start, the judgment starts, the drama starts. Things can just be unstable. You will have to upset some people so that you can go out and explore and satiate your curiosity. You are changing as a person and probably will change abruptly or suddenly, and your friends are just not going to be used to the little Leo that emerges. Most people don't like change, especially if they depended on you for something. And it may be hard for you to be seen as the bad friend that changes or the friend that is not dependable. But if you trust that energy, you only hold yourself back from experiencing all kinds of radical new things. You will just have this inner urge to break free from the mundane and the usual. My one piece of advice is do not harbor guilt that you are letting other people down, because that can be a real thing with Leo risings. Just know that in time, they will experience a similar transit and they will experience the same urges that you are. It will take time until they get to where they can truly experience what energy you're in right now to fully understand the decisions that you make for yourself. Not everyone is going to understand why you do the things that you're doing during this transit, and that's okay. You could also attract people with mental illness. I totally forgot about that, but you can attract that, or just this general inconsistency about them, okay? People can be all over the place when you're around them, and it will be kind of like, am I crazy or is it them? You're going to be drawn to the misfits, the rebels, and the visionaries. Uranus is teaching you that you do actually love a community, but you want to define your community on your own terms. You could join some unconventional groups or get involved with some progressive humanitarian groups while Uranus transits this house. You could become quite the social reformer during this time. If you join any protest, remember, just release that amazing creativity that you have. Just let it flow, and maybe create some unique signs or come up with some distinctive mantras. And because you gain new quirky friends, this may distance you from those more traditional friend groups that you have, and you are going to be an outlier with some of your friends. But it's really going to open you up to more possibilities with the friend groups that you have. So you could be attracted to the downtrodden or the underdogs or the ones that society overlooks. You truly do have a beautiful soul, so it would be a shame to only share your wisdom and energy with one type of people. Just keep a completely open mind during this transit and accept and welcome the unexpected during the next 7 years. You could find yourself bored and restless as well, and just needing some type of stimulation, finding yourself just craving some type of radical drama or wild and exciting adventure. Now is the time that you could go out and attract the friend that is like, hey, let's fly to Vegas tomorrow and go drop all of our money on one game of Russian roulette. You need this electrifying feeling, and you could have yourself in the most random situations that you never saw occurring before this transit. My friend just finished this transit actually, and she literally flew across the country to celebrate her birthday and then flew back that night. I would have been exhausted, but impulsive decisions will be made and spontaneous adventures will be done. The good thing is you do have some of that fire energy in your chart, so you're going to love this impulsiveness. Buckle up, my little Leos. It's going to be a fun and exciting time mixed with some hard conversations at some moments where you are spent outside of your comfort zone. But I cannot wait to see the transformed lion that you are in 2033. Mwah. Hello, my Virgo risers, the beautiful, fair maidens of the zodiac. Uranus is going through the peak of your chart, the highest point. It will cross over your midheaven if you are looking at the whole house system and be a wild ride. So much can happen during this transit, but before we look at what is actually going to happen with this new Uranus transit, let's take a stroll down memory lane and look at what the last 7 years looked like for you when Uranus was transiting through your 9th house. And during this time, you could have found yourself graduating from school. And if you went to a public school or a public university, you may have found that you had to abruptly stop attending or move to online classes in order to graduate, because Uranus really does resonate with technology. It's also very possible you experience some type of interruption in your education plans. You could have had some spontaneous opportunities to travel abroad with it going through the 9th house. You may have randomly met someone from a different culture who left this lasting impact on your life. You could have tried new food or learned a new language or even met a very philosophical person that was able to plant some seeds in your mind about what your truth was. And now Uranus is leaving your 9th house and making a dash for your 10th house. I always like to think of the 10th house as the house that you rise up to. This is a house you cannot ignore because it affects everything in the physical. Uranus can actually be a really hard planet for you Virgos to deal with because Uranus isn't a friend of structures or routines. In fact, as soon as she feels like there is a pattern or a loop, she's going to rebel and break free abruptly. So it can feel like you get things established and things are going, and then whoosh, here comes Uranus in like a wrecking ball, shaking everything up that you carefully built. And then you're left with just trying to rebuild. And that can be frustrating and annoying. My best advice is the harder you plan or cling to stability, the harder you fall. Because remember, this is the highest point of your chart. Surrender will be your bestie the next 7 years because the only thing for sure that you can expect is the unexpected. One of the basic things you may recognize when Uranus starts coming into this house is that you change your physical appearance somehow, and it will be on just a total whim. Maybe you cut off your hair or dye your hair all kinds of different colors or get pregnant. You can gain weight, lose weight, get pregnant, get piercings, change your clothing style. You may begin to make bold choices when it comes to your clothes and your fashion. You could very well find yourself becoming quite the little trendsetter during this time, my Virgos. One major thing you will notice is your mind will be on overdrive. Uranus is going to be going through Gemini, which stimulates the brain, and Virgos already stay in their head analyzing all kinds of different things anyway. You could find sudden inspirations coming through, especially surrounding your career or, more importantly, your purpose and what mark you want to leave on this world before you depart. You could have an impulsive urge that you cannot explain to change jobs or go in a totally different direction than you're currently going in life. You may wake up one morning and realize that you actually do have a greater purpose and you don't want to waste your time at a job that isn't serving your passions. You could go through a phase where you don't want to be something that you're not. My friend went through this when it was actually in Taurus, and she worked at a barbecue restaurant but was a vegetarian. And one day she woke up and was like, what in the world am I doing right now? This actually goes against what I believe. So she quit and randomly started actually connecting with people that grow their own food, and now she grows her own food and sells the leftovers from her harvest. So it doesn't necessarily mean you'll switch jobs to get better pay. It can actually be a pay cut, but in a career more aligned with your authentic beliefs. You could also find that one day you go into work and you have suddenly been laid off because AI will now be doing your job, or you could abruptly be fired. Uranus can create some fires with all of that electricity that she contains. But never fear, my little Virgos, because there is a greater purpose for this transition. Uranus wants you to use your voice in some type of way to help humanity. You have a way to connect to others that is special, even if they are blooming idiots. Now, I will say, you can also attract some random promotions that put you at the top of your company, or you could find a job where you make more money than you are right now. You can easily make friends and connections at work, but this is a potent time where you may find yourself a part of some workplace drama. Gemini energy and its lower vibration can bring drama, gossip, and even some rumors at your workplace. You may even find yourself initiating some of this drama and gossip. You may find yourself in a sudden controversial position at your work. Maybe you do actually get a well-deserved promotion, but other people get jealous of you and start rumors that you're in a relationship with the boss. That's why you got promoted, even if it's not true. Gemini is the only sign with two separate humans. So it's possible people see you as two-faced, even though that is not your authentic truth. If you are in a job that deals with the public, you could find that people test your patience, or that you come into contact with some very strange and weird and quirky people. You are going to have a lot of strange and unusual conversations with other people during the next 7 years. But you actually love being mentally stimulated. Although you may find others are scattered or erratic in their thoughts or points of view, people may randomly talk to you about astrology, space, aliens, psychology, conspiracy theories, and it plants a seed where you dig later onto the truths of these things. You may receive a job opportunity that comes out of nowhere and can totally change the rest of your life. Uranus can strip away those desires to just climb that traditional career ladder altogether. You may realize you don't actually want what you thought you wanted or what society deemed as the correct path to take. You'll become less worried about getting that title or that prestige or the status symbols, and gain some clarity, which will be liberating. But be careful though, because without integration, this transit can create some chronic instability where you are uncertain and cannot commit to one certain path, because so many ideas will be coming through your mind that you will think, oh, I'll be a perfect influencer, and then be inconsistent on posting. Or you may find yourself drawn to wanting to speak up against the world events that are coming up. So you become more political, but then you retract and stop using your voice. And then you move into making videos for astrology. You can be all over the place with this because you will have so many brilliant ideas. It will be hard sticking with just one. You may even find yourself in a dual career, making two incomes somehow. I mean, I kind of feel like I'm tapped into this energy just talking about it. I feel like I'm all over the place speaking about things that you may see during this transit. Someone could abruptly come into your job and see this amazing potential and plant a seed that you would actually be better at another career. I found this to happen at somebody that was a waitress, and they actually saw their personality and thought that they would be good in real estate. And during this transit, you actually may take that person up on that offer. You could be drawn to writing stories at this time and even attempting to get them published. Maybe you decide the hustle and work culture just isn't for you. You'd rather develop sci-fi or fantasy novels where you can create imaginary worlds and people and anything that your mind desires. You want a career that makes you feel alive inside, that lights you up, that gives you energy to work instead of drains you. Learning to have a voice at your workplace will be crucial during the next 7 years while Uranus goes through Gemini. If you feel silenced or restricted, you may just rebel at this time, or you may find yourself saying some things that shock you. Yeah, your jaw may drop. You'll be like, did that just come out of my mouth? Your voice is important. I mean, truly, you can actually, during this time, make a whole career out of your voice or the messages that you receive. So if you have these fears about speaking up, they can't get out there. Uranus will force you to meet these fears and let go of them. That planet wants you to be raw and authentic. So speak your mind as much as you can. If something is unjust, speak up. That's why you may actually find yourself more in that political arena. You don't want to be a little sheep that just follows the crowd and believes everything that the media is telling you. You could find yourself not only standing up for the rights of people in a workplace, but also for the whole dang collective. You want that freedom to not conform or perform just because it gives you some type of security at the present moment. It's okay if you don't do this day one. I do want to make that clear because Uranus is a 7-year transit. So you've got plenty of time and plenty of random situations will come to you where you will be allowed to use your voice. So if you don't, just step back and reflect and do better next time. You could actually discover your voice is so distinctive that you begin to work in media, whether it's television or radio or social media. Your mind is going to be filled with messages, both divine and physical, about the outside world. You may find yourself becoming a popular person on social media, just sharing your unique thoughts, your out of the box thinking, and naturally gain an audience from thinking this way. You may lean towards an unconventional career where there is not actually any steady income. Having flexibility and freedom in a career is going to be worth more than money. You could find yourself quickly investing in things related to technology or AI, or actually even using an AI avatar to create something. You may move during this time, and you may even move in with someone that is random, or you could move abruptly. You could even find someone that is just like you, so basically your twin, or a random person that you barely know to move in with. You could also find a career that somehow deals with electricity. So working for an electric company, becoming a lineman or an electrical engineer, working for NASA. You could go into fields like psychology and become a therapist online, doing talk therapy with clients, or astrology. You could create a whole online platform and reach clients through astrology knowledge, or make connections with politicians. Again, this will be unconventional for you, and your job may not have these set hours, so not a 9 to 5 or whatever. You will notice that you will begin to also awaken some psychic abilities because you will receive divine messages and physical messages. So divine messages may come through, and you'll notice where you can predict things that will happen in the future because you can quite literally become a visionary. But one thing I do want to remind you is that this particular time can be exhausting. There will be times where your mind is racing and you just cannot shut it off, or you actually attract some unstable and inconsistent people that drain your energy. And you can also actually attract some mentally unstable people, or people with mental illness during this transit. So if you are feeling overwhelmed or erratic, be gentle with yourself. Take some quiet time away from all of the noise and nurture yourself. Journal, meditate, sit in silence. All of those things help you rebalance all of the chaos that you experience. It's very possible that you experience some kind of dramatic shift with your reputation as well. And it can manifest in a lot of different ways. Maybe you go to jail and you have your mugshot plastered all over social media. Or you could have your image in the newspaper being a local person that was selected to go to space randomly. Just be careful with that sudden urge to be wild and exciting and impulsive and spontaneous. You can make a name for yourself, whether that's good or bad. And again, you can be quite controversial. You can find that you rebel against authority at this time. You could get arrested for protesting and speaking out on something that you feel is unjust. Say you're working with someone and you discover the company is actually manipulating the public, so you become a whistleblower and this makes the news. Not every arrest or reason to be in the newspaper is actually bad. You could have some ideas that seem progressive or ahead of their time. So in the beginning, the general population may not actually accept them and reject you and make comments that you're weird or wacky or whatever. Uranus transiting here can mean explosive liberation from your family's expectations. You may shock people with the changes that you make during this time, including your family, like creating an OnlyFans and your dad's a preacher kind of thing. You can turn out to actually be the exact opposite person that your parents envisioned. But there's just no way to fake it. This transit, you will actually feel empty and not fulfilled if you try to be someone that you're not. Lots of changes are coming your way, my little Virgo risings. Some of you are going to become famous, or rather infamous, during this time. I cannot wait to see which side you come out on. Mwah. And last but not least, my beautiful Libra risings. I always think of you guys as the swans of the zodiac, just absolutely gorgeous little souls. My little Libras, you just got through an intense transit through your 8th house where you learned how to let go of things that were intimately connected to you. And now you are going to experience a little relief because Uranus will be going through your 9th house. The 9th house deals with things like higher learning, philosophical beliefs, spirituality, long distance travel, and it will be a nice break from the last 14 years of turmoil in your close relationships. And letting go of all of those people, places, and things that you wanted to so desperately cling to. That's not to say you won't experience some uncomfortable times during the next 7 years, but it's going to be a lot different because you've had so much upheaval in business and your close relationships that you were intimately connected with. And now Uranus coming into Gemini is actually friendly with your Libra air. It's like a BFF coming over to your house for the next 7 years. Do you always get along? No. But you also have some fun and exciting adventures and good times with this person. So what a welcome relief this is going to be. For this video, I'm actually using the whole house system. So if you do use the Placidus house system, you may want to watch the 8th and the 10th house because it's possible you have a midheaven and Uranus will cross over, but that won't be for everyone, just depending on which house system that you use. I just did the whole house system for this video because it makes everything simple, not empty. Which means Uranus will be going through your 9th house, so you will naturally attract things and information and people who stimulate your mind. You'll have a growing desire to learn all kinds of new and radical things. And these things can seem unconventional to some. Maybe you take a class on Vedic astrology or Reiki healing, or find yourself learning some hypnosis techniques where you can access the Akashic records or go back to past lives. Just whatever excites your little mind. You're going to be a curious little critter. It's also a potent time to awaken some of your psychic abilities. You may even find you start getting some divine downloads that you can't wait to share with others. You have such a unique and out-of-the-box thinking with this transit. So you can find that people are truly intrigued by the things that you learn. Although some people may actually think that you're weird or wacky or crazy. It doesn't matter. You want to find the truth and liberate your mind during this transit. You don't want to stay in this land of restriction where you believe in just one thing and only that thing and believe it to be absolute truth. You may find that your mind races or becomes erratic because so many neurons are just firing at this rapid pace. You could have so many thoughts and you're just learning so many things that Things could get a little crazy up there. You will find a childlike curiosity at this time. You will want to do research on innovative things. You could find yourself asking questions like, why is this? Which came first? Let's investigate. What are the impacts on the body if we travel to Mars? Can the moon be colonized? I wonder what it means to have Uranus and Gemini and Uranus coming through and making this transit. You can always be thinking of questions. But the awesome thing is with this transit, you will want to take action to answer these questions. Be drawn to philosophical questions. What is our greater purpose here? Why were humans created? What is consciousness? You may even find that you begin to speak about these topics, maybe on social media, because Uranus is a very technological planet. You could write books or papers that even get published. You can create some good connections with others that may seem a little different or quirky and have conversations about wild conspiracy theories or aliens, UFOs, meet some unusual people that stimulate your mind. You could also find yourself signing up for classes about religion, philosophy, psychology, or spiritual practices because you want to know about everything. You are curious, and through your connection in these classes, you may actually gain some sudden opportunities. Maybe you get invited to a trip to India or randomly to the Himalayas. But here's the thing with traveling. Traveling can teach you just as much as a class can. You can learn all about the culture and the customs and the way others behave and why they do and what they believe and why they believe it by traveling to a new country and experiencing it for yourself. You could find that you actually rebel against traditional education. If your country has a traditional way of doing things to learn things, well, you may just find yourself going through a totally different route to get there. So instead of going to a college or a university to learn, you take local classes taught by gurus or spiritual leaders. You may learn about herbs and their medicinal properties in totally different countries. Maybe you travel to places on your astrocartography chart that awaken you and make you feel alive. You could feel called to travel to somewhere specific. Let's say Mount Shasta. So you pack up and make a trip and boom, out of nowhere, you get there and you start getting all of these activations and start realizing a lot of profound things about life. Your spirit can get super excited with this transit. You may even feel a sudden breakthrough with your guides and learn a new way to connect to them or to speak to them to get messages. This will be a time where you just cannot be fake. You cannot follow beliefs blindly, even if you have been raised with those beliefs. You have to find the truths out for yourself on your own terms. And this could actually shock your family. You could experience this sudden urge where you want to teach people all of the things that light up your soul. And like I said, Uranus is very future oriented. So you want to reach the future generations. You may find yourself wanting to keep your consciousness at a certain level because it does affect other generations. You may turn to social media to share things that you've learned or actually start local classes where you teach. You may even get an opportunity to grow so big that you travel to teach the things that you learned during this transit. You could write sci-fi books or fantasy novels to share your knowledge of the unconventional. You may also find that you want to start working with electricity or heat or find better ways that we can harness this energy for the collective. You know, my little Libra risings, it doesn't matter where you're at on your journey, but a lot of times you don't like speaking up or rocking the boat or being radically different than the rest of the collective. This transit will put you in some uncomfortable positions where you're expected to be different than how the person you're around wants you to be. It's not always easy for a Libra rising to speak up and be some outlier of their family's expectations. If your family is a particular religion, it can be hard to tell them about all of these things that you are learning because it could come up against their truths. And Libras, they just want the scales balanced and for everyone to get along. They are more the type that will either not bring up something or just agree in a certain situation, but really feel a whole nother truth the entire time. And with this transit, Uranus is really wanting you to teach other people about different perspectives. You can be the source that plants seeds in other people's minds that get them questioning things and get them to thinking, may even get them to deep dive. People may reject or abandon or even disown you for being different, and you have to make peace with that. The thing is there will be a time where these people go through a similar transit that opens up their expansion, and then they will be able to relate to you. The 9th house is just such an expansive house. It's going to put you around people or situations that try to restrict you in some way. But Uranus is going to be urging and poking you and saying, no, no, no. You need to speak up about what you believe is real. Do not just agree to not create any friction. Don't be afraid to be bold or revolutionary or a visionary. You know, it's easier said than done. I will say that because the Libra energy is real. But Uranus is calling you to rock the boat a little bit. So, you know, you try to keep that boat so stable and balanced, but Uranus is not going to allow for that. But nonetheless, my gorgeous Libras, you will be a different person in 2033 with some new amazing personal truths. Mwah.